Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That is Mike.
What's going on? Welcome.
You know what? Hold on one second. I don't know.
Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Payoff Pitch. I hope you guys had a profitable evening or are currently having a profitable evening if you are listening or watching live.
Make sure it's streaming.
That's pretty important.
I didn't get a notification on my phone.
Yeah, neither did I. So I guess we'll just pretend like it is in case it is streaming, I guess. But is there any way we can confirm? Well, I guess we just have to wait for someone to come in. It's live. Yeah, thanks, man.
Awesome.
We have the confirmation.
I
hope you guys are cashing, man. I'm actually having a pretty good night.
Finally. Well, I'm obviously not playing for cash, so I don't know if I'm cashing. But
yeah, I'm a Chris Bryant home run away from some good bacon.
Well, that's not gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I went super contrarian with my lineups today because I was only playing a couple bucks, and so I figured out who the chalk pitchers were and kind of. I have no stacks in my lineup either.
What was
all one-offs?
What was Alex's Woods ownership?
I don't know. I can look. I just I listened to a couple things today because it's really the only research I could do at work is kind of listening to other people talk or.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew more about ownership than I normally do because I normally don't do any of that. Let's see.
Max was 72. He had 72 points today, 13 strikeouts in 8 2/3 innings.
Yeah, that's why I'm cashing. My two pitchers on DraftKings were Scherzer and Tanaka. So I figured I'd differentiate myself with Tanaka and kind of just jam Scherzer in against the Padres, seeming like that'd probably be a good chalk place, to do so.
Yeah, good call on Scherzer. Or I'm sorry, on Tanaka.
I wasn't comfortable doing it, to be honest with you, man. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan. I've been watching this season. Obviously none of the numbers pointed to it, but I know how he is on an extra day of rest, and I know that, Oakland stack was people are all over that, so I was like, why the heck not? Got him like sub 5%. I have Scherzer at right around 50% in my tournaments.
Yeah, that's expected. DeGrom had a really nice game. I believe he had 62 points on FanDuel, as did Tanaka.
Tanaka had 37.5 on DraftKings. I mean, it's both my pitchers got 13, 12 strikeouts, something like that. So
Alex Wood is having a really good game, except for his pitch count. He's 4 innings in with 76 pitches. So unless he has a quick inning next, he probably doesn't get that quality start, knowing the Dodgers and how quickly they pull pitchers. Atlanta, San Francisco is a pitcher's duel as expected. Not expected was Arizona, Milwaukee being tied at 2.
Yeah. A lot of no real big cricket numbers on this slate as far as offense. I guess Colorado put up a nice spot there, but in the Texas-Toronto game,
I think the surprise.
I was kind of on Toronto.
The surprise stack was Miami.
Yeah, actually, I was the only person in the free roll with Giancarlo Stanton.
I was trying to tell people, especially Theo, that Stanton in that 2-hole is an interesting play. It's almost an extra at bat. And if you're going to stack Marlins, you got to play Stanton. But
yeah, no, it's
him and
Archer had a good game. I don't think anybody was on him. You probably got him low owned today.
Yep. We talked about that. He was going to be. I mean, there was no way he wasn't going to be low owned with the other big names on the slate that were safer.
Another good example of a good performance, not a good DFS performance, was Eddie Rodriguez. Went out scoreless 6 innings, but didn't really make the top 5 or even the top 8 in pitcher scores today.
He had 40 on FanDuel. Carlos Martinez, who I was all over. My 2 pitchers of the night were Carlos Martinez and Alex Wood. Carlos Martinez had 44. Alex Wood currently has.
Yeah, they're like tied right now on DraftKings.
Alex Wood currently has 30. So I don't think he reaches Carlos Martinez because of that quality start. But
Yep. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of difference in scoring there just because of the, again, with Eddie Rodriguez, he had 5 hits, 3 walks. So there's some negative points for that on DK.
So off the bat tomorrow.
Yeah, off the bat, on deck.
We have have
you ever baseball teams?
Have you ever watched Floss?
Floss?
Floss. I believe it's Floss.
I don't think so.
Dude, he's a tech reviewer on YouTube. He's hilarious.
No,
he's one of my favorite guys to watch. He's hilarious. On deck, he has it in that New York accent. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't try with accents anymore, man. I've noticed I have like a non-regional addiction in a sense. Obviously, I went down to North Carolina, came back here. Sometimes my family says I have a southern accent. Obviously, I don't. They just have a really non-southern accent in a sense. Jersey accent. So,
but yeah,
I don't know.
On deck, we have Colorado and St. Louis at a 5.5 implied run total. Obviously,
Colorado, St. Louis.
Yeah, 11 for the game. I'm just talking implied total for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
On deck, Mike. On deck tomorrow.
Okay. I thought we were going into game breakdown. I was like, damn, that's a late game, dog.
Yeah, no. I'm reading off. I'm looking at these implied totals. Philadelphia is the only other game, or the only other team right now over 5. They're sitting at 5.1. Rounding out, we have Cleveland at 4.72 and Arizona at 4.57, making up your top 5.
Yep. I think the usual suspects in a sense. Obviously, Coors, probably Arizona is going to be 4-5 and above.
Mod knows who I'm talking about.
Till the All-Star break.
It's your boy, Floss.
You got to come up with some catchphrases, Kyle.
Shout out to Floss, man. I love that guy.
See how they work. Tweet at him. Maybe we can get him on. Maybe he can come up with some catchphrases for us since he's a pro.
There you go. I'm gonna tweet out Floss.
Might as well, man. He's a YouTuber like us. He'll understand.
We got Oakland, New York. This game, as far as I know, does not have implied totals open yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
CC Sabathia, the great CC Sabathia.
The once great. Let's put it that way.
Versus Jarrell Cotton. He's called up to make a start today. I think he's attackable. We were looking at him in the beginning of the year, but seemingly
the case upside.
Yeah, but
he had super K upside of the minors. I mean, it translated somewhat. It went from he had like 28, 30% AAA K percentage to 20% in the majors. So not like an elite K guy. Obviously, he's still a rookie, and he came up here and got demoted. And which is saying something because this Oakland pitching staff, I think they just put Jesse Hahn on the DL. Andrew Triggs has been on and off. They've skipped Graveman's start today, so they need his help. It's not like he's been pitching great. It's not like they really are promoting him back up. It's kind of like a need that they have right now. So Jarrell Cotton comes back up, pitched okay in his 7 starts in the minors, but
he's definitely attackable. In New York.
Yeah, look at that fly ball percentage, man. I mean, that's the problem he's got, and that's not just on the major league level. He's had a 40+ fly ball percentage his whole minor league career as well.
Yeah, and if you guys noticed the new addition to the sheets, we switched out matchup WOBA. I have now ballpark factors. Obviously, these are factoring into some new statistics I'm obviously testing. Find out more about those as I get more results. But Yankee Stadium, anything above 100, treated as 100 is the
green.
Yeah, 100 is the median, right? So anything above 100 is good, below 100 is bad. Yankee Stadium, as we all know, very good. Both sides, especially lefties. So Brett Gardner and this is where Jarrell Cotton this year has struggled is versus lefties, right? These home runs and fly balls. So Brett Gardner, Didi, I immediately look there. I know Didi he's actually been a reverse split guy. But Didi's still hot. I look at Aaron Hicks if he plays tomorrow.
Better from the left side.
Yeah. Look at that WOBA from the left side. 447, 260.
Yeah, if you look at his career numbers, too, he's had almost the same amount of home runs from the left side than the right and half the amount of plate appearances. So maybe that has a lot to do with Yankee Stadium.
I can see it, man. Are we going with a Yankee or a Oakland stack tomorrow. Jed Lowry, obviously much different story from the right side of the plate. Don't think I go there, but
Yeah, dude, versus a righty, man, Jed Lowry on FanDuel is a steal.
he's 2,300.
Yeah, I think that would have been a plug-and-play for me today, honestly.
He was in every one of
I
my
mean,
lineups.
obviously it's just so easy to do. I mean, on DraftKings, look at the difference in price, man. It's like, why would I want to pay that much money? And look at Starlin Castro's price. It's just an obvious.
Yeah.
I'd just much rather not do that. You know, it's like very strange. Castro's definitely underpriced. CC most definitely will give up a home run tomorrow. I think you can bet on that.
Chris Davis, a viable candidate, as is Ryan Healy, I think.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. They're obviously always messing with the lineup in Oakland.
If Chad Pinder,
day game after night game.
If Chad Pinder starts tomorrow, do not sleep on him.
He didn't play today, so it probably will. Again, day game after night game, I guarantee we'll see some changes. Obviously, there's no Ellsbury anymore, so they brought up Rob Refsnyder. Maybe we see a appearance from him tomorrow. So there could be a lot of lineup changes. Speaking to this entire slate, being that there's a lot of day games tomorrow, 10 game early slate on DraftKings, so a lot of day game after night games going on. Obviously, Sanchez sat today, so he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. But catchers are primarily the main position that gets switched out day after night.
By the way, Chad Pinder swears he's Mike. If you guys have seen a picture of these two side by side, Chad Pinder is Mike in the major leagues.
Oh, really?
I swear.
Did he come out and say that?
He wants to.
If he's making those comparisons without talking to me for something, we got something to say. I mean, I'll have to come at him, I guess.
You have a ton. You have a ton of doppelgangers.
Oh, we're out here, man. We roll deep. Watch your back.
Oh man. Texas, Toronto, man. Yu Darvish in Toronto tomorrow. I think Yu Darvish has shown he can be hit.
And he's also shown he can't be hit. It's very hit or miss with Darvish. I think Darvish is a day game guy.
I
know we don't have those stats. Let me look it up. I don't know. Just like it's something I didn't do research on, but I saw it and I was just talking about day games and was like, it just like dawned on me real quick. So.
And then on the reverse.
I mean, I think both these pitchers are in play.
And see, on the reverse, you can make an argument for attacking Estrada as well. So we talk about, Mike's looking up Darvish. Estrada has enormous K upside. Actually, he has a better K percentage than Darvish does so far this year. But that fly ball percentage is a huge concern in this park.
Yeah, he did strike out, 13, 12, something like that.
12
Orioles, his last time out. So, I mean, definitely opened some eyes. You saw his price rise. Now he's one of the top 5 on the slate. But for good reason. I posted in the River group today the O swing percentage, the top 10 in the league, and that measures how many swings and misses a pitcher is getting on balls that are pitched out of the zone. So it generally favors strikeout pitchers that are trying to get people to chase. And he was in that top 10.
Estrada?
Strange. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but again, I generally like to target Texas with a lefty, not a righty, being that their lineup is mostly power lefties.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you got it. So obviously, I'm looking at Mazzara, Gallo. Odor has been legit home run or nothing this year. So.
Where the heck do I find this day versus night? Home away.
Well, Mike looks that up. If I was to attack you, Darvish, I think you got to look at Donaldson, Batista, and Smoke again. All these guys, or Smoke is actually priced down, as is Batista from where they were today on FanDuel. So I'm looking there against Darvish. And I'm going to keep repeating it, man. Devon Travis has a 12-game hit streak now. He's hot, and his price went down. So I'm looking there. I think you can make an argument to stack both sides here. But then again, you can make an argument to pitch both guys. FanDuel.
I can't find it.
FanDuel originally had Phil
Look it up.
Hughes starting this game for the Twins. It is now Adalberto Mejia.
Yeah, he joined Jared Weaver on the DL. Mejia and Gibson kind of fighting for a 5th starter role. both those guys are like quadruple A players. Not really triple A, not really major leaguers. So I think you can go after Mejia.
I think so too. He is a lefty. That is the one concern with these lefty bats. Rasmus will probably sit again. I had him in there.
Did they play lefty today, right?
They did. Lomo hit a home run, but Hector Santiago is a extreme reverse splits guy. He is awful against lefties.
Maybe did Tim Beckham lead off?
He did. He'll probably do it again today. They'll probably slide Kevin down here to 7. Let's see. Oh, this is probably what you'll see. Corey Dickerson and Tim Beckham. Bam. So that's probably what you'll see.
Not super high on either side of this game. Seemingly looking like a fade to me.
I'm with you. I also
maybe you go if you want to pay up. I don't know. Obviously, Sano is always in play.
Again, Sotorizzi is a fly ball pitcher and does give up more home runs to righties and twice as much hard contact. So Sano definitely in play.
Sano.
I still think you can look at Kennis Vargas too.
If he starts, they've been platooning him, haven't they?
Yeah, but he's gonna. I'd imagine he starts against a righty.
Oh yeah, true.
That's his spot. So Detroit and Chicago. These lines are out. Buck Farmer has pitched in the majors last year, not yet this year. Not great numbers, not good numbers this year in the minors. He's 1-3, I believe, with a over 4 ERA. He has 54 strikeouts in 54 innings, so there is a strikeout per inning upside there, but he's getting hit hard. He's a fly ball pitcher, averages over a fly ball per ground ball. So I don't see upside in playing Buck tomorrow. He's not going to be a Dinelson Lamet, in my opinion. And Derek Holland, we've seen him come crashing down to earth after that hot start. He's still only given up 216 average on the year, but the trifecta of low strikeouts, high hard contact, and high fly ball rate do not bode well for him, especially in a lineup full of righties.
Yeah, I do not. I mean, not looking at pitching or throwing either one of these guys. I will say, dude, Memorial Day weekend, American Pride, Buck Farmer is about the most American name I could possibly think of. So, if you buy into that narrative and you're trying to play one for America, maybe you go Buck Farmer. But don't really do that.
I don't have words.
Derek Holland, against Detroit, this team hits the ball hard when they do. Derek Holland doesn't have lightning rod stuff. I think definitely some bats in play here against Derek Holland.
The one thing he has done really well is shut down lefties, but there's no lefties in this lineup.
Oh, well.
It's irrelevant. So I'm looking at the righty splits, and they're not good. 42% hard contact, 47% fly ball. And he's pitching at home, which is a home run park. Plays much differently than Detroit. Not liking him, man. And I'm on a Detroit stack, to be honest with you, in this early slate. J.D. Martinez is on another planet right now. Not even Earth. On another planet.
100%.
Another galaxy.
Wobo of over 1,000. His 4 plate appearances at home, I think he's hit a home run in every one of those plate appearances.
It's ridiculous, man.
4 plate appearances at home versus a lefty, sorry, to clarify those listening.
Justin Upton broke out of a little slump. Maybe. I mean, one game doesn't break you out of a slump, but it's a sign. He gets a lefty again. I think Miguel Cabrera is in play. Nick Castellanos is a bargain price right now. He has power upside. We've seen it before. So I think, and James McCann at 2,500 as a catcher, we know his history versus lefties.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I don't have the stats in front of me, but if I'm thinking of Detroit second and Justin Upton in particular, I'd be curious to look at Derek Collins' swinging strike rate, because Justin Upton, for his whole career, has been like a 30% strikeout guy. And he's leading the league in all the StatCast metrics. Not leading, but he's in the top 5. So that pretty much tells you that this dude just closes his eyes and
swings,
man.
They have a parody Twitter account for Justin Upton, by the way, for his strikeouts.
Right. So Derek Collins not getting a lot of swing and misses. I think Justin Upton's more in play, under 4K on DraftKings now. Obviously, you're paying up for JD Martinez, so you're comparing him to, all the greats on the slate. So
I can't fault you for it if you do.
Yeah.
Is this game included on the DraftKings early slate, these 405 games?
Yes, it is. There's a 10-game early, there's a 6-game turbo, and a 5-game main, I believe.
See, we have an 8-game early on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's 10.
They omit
10 games.
The early on FanDuel, for whatever reason, is omitting the 2 10 o'clock games.
Early?
Yeah, the 2 105 starts for you.
Very weird. Yeah, no, it's the 10 games, and then all the 4 o'clock games are in a turbo slate.
Steven Strasburg, he gets these lovely Padres.
Yep, talking about closing your eyes.
God damn it. And Clayton Richard, man. Elite ground ball pitcher. There's not going to be a ton of K upside here, but I don't necessarily know that I rush to stack Washington. And Steven Strasburg, he heard what I said apparently, because I said on the last time he started, I said...
Called him out.
Yeah, I said he's changed his arm delivery. Or not his delivery, but the way his pitching style, because of, maybe the injuries, but he just hasn't struck out the same amount of batters. And then he goes out and strikes out, I think it was double-digit strikeouts last game.
11 Ks.
Yeah.
C.
So, of course, I mean...
That was in Atlanta.
Yeah, no one played him, I don't believe.
Not in Atlanta.
So, great.
Definitely wasn't me.
He's seemingly the ace on this slate. I don't see anyone else. Actually, no, Yu Darvish. But Yu Darvish...
He's the highest priced guy by far.
Yu Darvish in Toronto is going to be interesting to see what ownership he gets as opposed to Steven Strasburg. I think combined, these two will take up 50% ownership, if not more.
See, I think Greinke's going to be in there, man. I mean, Greinke's been on a tear.
Oh, that's right. That game is on the early, isn't it? That's right. It's the last game. Yeah, because then New York. Yep. Okay.
And you got a shot coming off a huge game. I don't really think there's a cut and dry like Scherzer on this slate, So people are still hesitant about Strasburg, especially people that have been playing DFS for a few years and seeing the drop off. But it is the Padres, and
his numbers are still good.
Yeah, you play the matchup. Greinke is $200 less than Strasburg today. Darvish $500 less than Strasburg. That's how the pricing shakes out for the top tier.
I mean,
on DK,
you look at Strasburg's numbers: 276 WOBA against him, very good. 221 average, 24% strikeouts. I mean, that's on a normally we'd look at 24% strikeouts and say, that's good.
And it's increasing too. If you look at the last 4 games, All right, let me bring the numbers up. Like I said, 11 Ks in the last start. Only 3 one before that. Maybe I was looking at somebody else. Yeah, I apologize. I was looking at somebody else. It's Salazar whose Ks I think are. Yeah.
So Josh says he likes Greinke and Strasburg as well. Would you try and find a way to pay for both of those guys?
I don't think you can, man. No? I tried to. Remember the other day I tried to do
Cole and someone else. I remember because we were trying to build that lineup.
Yeah. Sale. And that was hard enough. And that was much difference in prices. Yeah, I don't think you can, man. I think you got to pick between the two. I mean, today I went, again, Scherzer and Tanaka, and it's doable with 2 punts.
Okay.
But that was like a 12K pitcher and a 9K pitcher, not 2 12K pitchers.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. What about some potential Washington stack? I look at, Trey Turner hit a home run today, maybe starting to bust out of the slump a little bit. He's been getting on base and stealing bags. I mean, speed is never in a slump, so he has that going for him.
Yeah, that's true. And it is a lefty. I usually kind of I think it's harder to steal out a lefty a little bit. Not saying this guy is a great pickup move. I have no numbers at all with that. So, but I don't think I want to stack here. Just you mentioned it, the fly ball percentage with Clayton Richard, man. I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher. He actually shut down the Diamondbacks in San Diego his last start. So that turns my head at least, because the Diamondbacks have been hot. So.
Yeah, I don't find myself stacking Washington. I'd much rather stack Detroit, to be honest with you, so far.
And look at his numbers against lefties, man. And then you make the case the two biggest bats in this lineup are lefty. I mean, obviously Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Is one of those, but I mean with Harper and Murphy.
I agree.
We missed Shimp's homer, so if you've been trying to pin down Shimp's one homer a week, you missed it today. Sorry, guys.
It's funny. I told Theo on the show today too. I said, Theo, if you're gonna play a Padre one-off, play Shimp. And he's like, nah, Will Myers. And I was like, don't spend that much money for a first baseman when there's so many other on the
Or a Padre.
Yeah. But what do I know? Cincy and Philly. Bronson Arroyo in a hitter's park versus a team that hasn't done anything. He's just...
Eight straight games, 2 runs or less
they got
for the Phillies.
Down by Tim Adelman today.
8 straight games with 2 runs or less. So if you like, watching a game where nothing happens, Phillies are the ticket, man. So it's hard to go. I mean, obviously, look at all that red for Arroyo, man. This is like the guy I always go after, but his team is so cold. I don't really know. I think Altier is the only guy that I even consider. Maybe Joseph.
Yeah, those two are hitting well. Altier and Joseph.
On a team against a pitcher that, in any other case, I would be looking to stack against him, especially on a 6-game turbo. He's the worst pitcher in that turbo slate.
I think Phillies could be...
Contrarian?
I don't know if they're going to be contrarian.
I don't think anybody's going to play Phillies, man.
I will say this. You can get a really cheap stack, Mike. I look at Herrera, 2,600. Michael Saunders, 27. Cameron Rupp, 26. And Freddie Galvis, 27.
Yeah, I guess maybe for that reason, they could get some ownership. Cheap stack versus the worst pitcher on the slate, and allows you to get 2 of those guys we talked about on DraftKings.
Yeah.
I could see maybe that could be the reason. I really don't want to put my money there.
I'm just trying to give reasons to where you can pay up at pitching today.
Look at this implied total though. Is that real? 5.1. I don't know that that's real. How is that possible? I just told you the Phillies haven't scored more than 2 runs in 8 games. How are they projected to score 5?
I'm really interested to see what the line movement is. It's because last night the Pirates' implied total open was 4.37. It dropped to 3.3. I'm sorry, 4.33, and it dropped to 3.37 today. I'm really interested to see where this line movement goes. Josh says he might pitch Arroyo for 4,900 on DraftKings because that's how bad the Phillies are.
Pitch Adelman today, I would have called you crazy, but look what happened. So, and Arroyo did have he's had a couple good starts this year. He had a good start against the Giants and the Cubs.
What do you need for 5K on DraftKings? Like 10 points? Is that acceptable?
No, I think you want at least 15.
Can Arroyo get you 15?
No, he's done it before. Again, he did it against the Cubs this year, so it's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And then what about Cincy bats
Other
against
side, man.
Payoff?
Yeah, Vegas likes this as a game stack. So
I think you've got to look at the lefties in this lineup with Jared Eichhoff's numbers versus lefties. He hasn't given up a home run to righties all year. So that's concerning. But versus lefties, very vulnerable. So I'm looking at Votto. I'm looking at Schebler. Tucker Barnhart, if he plays as a punt catcher, 2,300. Something you said there. And then Billy Hamilton leading off. Man, Billy Hamilton today, it's ridiculous. He'll legit hit value just if he gets on base in the first inning. He got on base on an error today, I believe. Stole second and third base and scored a run.
Yeah, but 5K for an ISO under 100.
Well, see, yeah, 3,800 on FanDuel, but
No, I feel you though. I mean, that's what he does, man. I still think he's going to have to learn some something else.
does Billy Hamilton get
I don't,
100 steals this year?
he wants to, man. Again, that's the only thing he's got going for him. That's steals equal money for that dude. Once he can't run anymore, his pockets get weak.
Oh, he'll be out of the league by the time he's probably 33. His
look at Michael Bourne. I think is one that comes to mind, dude.
Yeah.
Prototypical leadoff guy, made his money stealing bags.
Didn't do anything
Yeah.
else.
Once he couldn't run anymore, he can't. He's not even a player. He's not even that old.
I think that he can get 100 bags this year. I really do. I think he's almost at 30 already.
I'm rooting for him.
It'd be an accomplishment. What's the highest total? I don't have that number, but I'll look it up.
The highest ever?
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson, I think, like 130-ish. Something like that. 120 something.
Hugh Nickel got 138 in 1887, if you count that. And Ricky Henderson
got me on that one, bro.
Ricky Henderson has 130 in 1982.
Yeah. He ain't catching him.
I don't think so. Billy Hamilton already is tied for sixth 2 times with 111. Wow, I didn't realize. Oh, never mind. What the hell? There's a different Billy Hamilton that had 111 stolen bases in 1889 and 1891.
It could be a great ancestor. Actually, probably not, now that I think about it.
Yeah. I don't think Billy Hamilton's ancestors were playing in the 80s or 1800s.
I didn't filter that.
But yeah, I think the lefties are in play here.
Yeah, the game stack could be in play. Vegas likes it. I don't necessarily hate it. 2 not great pitchers, so.
All right, Seattle and Boston. Rob Whalen, he pitched in the league last year, first time this year. Mike has a little more on him.
Yeah, they brought him up for like a roster move, to be like some added depth. I don't even think he pitched. He was just like a roster move, and then they sent him back down. He was traded to the Mariners in the off season, and this will make the Mariners. Hold on. This will make the Mariners 12th different starting pitcher used this season.
Not bad.
So they obviously have some issues there, to say the least. For Mariners fans, Paxton is pitching a rehab start in Double-A on Friday, or did pitch one. So he could be back soon. But either way, Whalen's in the big leagues now. His last start in Triple-A, May 19th at Iowa, which is the Cubs Triple-A team, pitched an 8-inning complete game, allowing just 1 earned run. So he's stretched out. I mean, if he's going to play 8 innings in Triple-A, he's definitely stretched out to be a starter. It's just
the team he's facing.
Not the good spot in Boston. But then again, he's playing a guy Brian Johnson, who has made 1 start this year for Toronto. Against Toronto, and it was a rocky start to his major league debut, but he ended up settling down and having a decent outing. So maybe it's just some nerves there for the first couple innings.
So I know I have these numbers blacked out. For those of you that have the sheets, we pitched Eduardo Rodriguez today for this upside. If you're going to pitch one of these guys that are mad cheap on FanDuel or DraftKings, right, this Brian Johnson, Rob Whalen, or Buck Farmer, I put my money on Brian Johnson.
Yeah, I agree.
He has the most K upside, in my opinion. And the Seattle Mariners are a different level of bad versus lefties this year, Mike. So let me read off some numbers here. Seattle, as a team, or their team numbers versus lefties. Gene Segura, an ISO of 0. Ben Gamble, .053. Robinson Cano, .034. Nelson Cruz is a 321 ISO. Standout. Kyle Seager.
But he also has them.
Kyle Seager, ISO of 0. Danny Valencia, .091. Guillermo Heredia, an ISO of .1. And Mike Zunino, an ISO of 0 versus lefties.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the spot just because the best opponent, the other guys, I'm not really going there. AAA last year, 16.4 K percentage. This year has a 19.4 in 7 starts. He's 2-0 with a 2.82 and a xFIP of 4.34. So,
Okay.
um,
It's not awful.
trying to find his fly ball percentage in the minors. He's pitching to a 43.9% fly ball percentage, so that is pretty awful.
Yeah, he has a 50% one this year.
But his home run per fly ball is 3.4, which is meaning there's probably a lot of soft contact being made. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, I think the stats you have this year, that's just that one start, I believe.
Yeah, so it's obviously limited sample size. He's going to look really, really bad on StatCast. 18% barrel ball, almost 19. So, but we talk about limited sample size, right? Mike Clevenger today.
Right.
So yeah, what about?
Yeah, I don't think I'm pitching either of these guys, to be honest with you.
I agree. I'm just saying if you wanted to, I think Johnson has the most upside.
Yeah, because you don't really want to play the Mariners bats because they can't lefties, like you said. I mean, Cruz is the only standout, but he also has the most home runs hit in the majors since 2015 or something, or since the start of 2015.
Yeah, no,
something crazy.
I can definitely play Cruz. Other than that, I'm not touching the Mariners. And then on the Red Sox, Hanley Ramirez, Mookie Betts, I look at them. Xander Bogaerts seemingly is finding his swing a little bit. So, something to look at. Devin Marrero is still cheap versus Rob Whalen.
Yeah. I like a Sox stack.
Kansas City, Cleveland. I think this is going to be interesting. So, Jason Vargas obviously has pitched really well this year. Very, very much a reverse splits guy so far. He has struggled versus lefties horrendously. He's not striking lefties out, under 10%, giving up 2 home runs per 9 to lefties, 380 WOBA, and then versus righties, 188 average against, 234 WOBA, and a 26% strikeout rate. And I believe he's only given up 1 home run to righties this year.
Yeah, the stats just continue to not make sense for Jason Vargas.
Yeah, so, again, to add on to that, Mike, real quick, versus righties, 49% fly ball, paired with a 32% hard contact. 1 home run, maybe 2. Versus lefties, 36% fly ball rate, 23% hard contact, yet is getting lit up in terms of home runs. Doesn't make sense.
The only thing I can think of, this guy's a change-up pitcher, right? He throws his change-up the majority of the time. He has a fastball that he just throws so that the change-up is more effective. It doesn't even hit 90 miles an hour. So the only thing I can think of is that people are sitting on fastball, or lefties are sitting on fastball because naturally lefty-lefty are a little bit later. They get a changeup, and they're able to see it a little bit better. So, I mean, that to me is the only thing that makes sense is that lefties are seeing his changeup better than righties because of the lefty-lefty matchup, considering he throws it majority of the time. 4.2 xFIP, 2.3 ERA.
The StatCast numbers on him are really, really good, though. He
does not. Yeah.
He's not getting hit hard.
Not getting barreled. He's not getting barreled up. Ah, man. But I don't know, man. I think I'd rather take a chance on Salazar, to be honest with you.
I agree. I think I would also rather go with Salazar against this Kansas City team that, was not doing very well. Obviously, they hit Clevenger a little harder today. Salazar's StatCast numbers are not kind. Almost or over 11% barrel ball rate. That's not good. But I'd like some of the righties on Cleveland. I'm looking at Yan Gomes for relatively cheap. He's been killing lefties. Jose Ramirez hit a home run today. Still cheap at third base. I know he's a better lefty hitter. And I look at Edwin Encarnacion. I don't like Carlos Santana from the right side.
Yeah, I agree. Salazar did play against the Royals this season. Went 4 2/3. Gave up 8 hits, 2 earned, 1 homer, struck out 7. So not a great performance. But we know he has K upside, and obviously, we'll continue to talk about it, but a lot of pitchers with K upside do give up the long ball. Now, the Royals, I mean, are definitely a team that I don't know.
If you want to stack against Salazar, which I think is viable, Brandon Moss, Salvador Perez, Mike Moustakas.
The reason I'm considering Salazar, I just don't think the ownership will be there. I mean, he's sandwiched between Estrada and Darvish and Price. And out of Strasburg, Greinke, Darvish, Salazar, Estrada, the top 5 price pitchers on the slate, I just feel like he's going to be the odd man out.
I think him and Estrada are going to get the least amount of ownership. I think you're going to see you for the name, Strasburg for his last game, and Greinke for his recent performance get all the ownership before you see Salazar and Estrada. I agree. I'll make the argument Estrada gets more ownership than Salazar does.
For the last game, yeah. And Salazar's not been pitching well, so yeah, I don't know. I think if the Royals, if Salazar was going to be, popular, maybe I go Royals as a contrarian perspective, but I don't think he will be, so I don't really feel the need to try and get contrarian. I don't really feel that high about Salazar either, so
to me it's an easy
kind of a game fade.
Yeah, I was going to say, to me it's an easy fade almost because you don't need to pitch Salazar. There's so many other options.
Right.
LA, Miami. Los Angeles Angels and Miami, by the way. Vance Worley is going to make another start for Miami.
Yep.
Not a ton
like Oprah, giving out starts.
Not a ton of upside here, man. I don't think I pitched Vance Worley at all, but can you stack the Angels? I don't. It's so hard.
Right, it's the same situation, man. It's like the Phillies.
I'm viewing this as kind of a game fade as well, man. I think I look at Justin Bour, obviously, versus a righty. And if Stanton's going to hit in that 2-hole, I look at him. And then maybe Real Muto. If you want to make a little stack, you can throw in D. Gordon. But I'm not rushing to play anyone in this game.
Nah. Every time I hear the name Vance, I think of The Office. Remember Vance Refrigeration?
You know what? I never got into The Office.
Well, they shared an office with Vance Refrigeration, so that was one of the the other companies in the office. So I just want him to be good, so we can say that he's refrigerating the other team. But it probably will never happen. We'll hold out hope.
I missed your jokes.
I know that wasn't you talking. It was probably some random person in the chat.
No, that was me. Theo attempted to make jokes, and they were arguably worse.
See, at least mine are so bad that they're kind of funny,
They're expected to.
Yeah. They always fall extremely flat, and then it's just like, all right, moving on. Maldonado hit a home run, so that was a guy I've been on and off of for, catcher punt-ish. Maybe you do that again. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think he hits 2 in a row.
Yeah, I doubt it. Justin Bour, All-Star game worthy. Talked about first base in the National League. Justin Bour in that conversation now?
I don't see how Justin Bour makes it at first base. There's way too many other big names.
He's a big dude, though. J.C. Ramirez is still in the majors. He surprised?
Not at this point. I don't think he's a great pitcher, but I don't think he's minors right now. I think he's...
I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised we're still talking about J.C. Ramirez. I thought he was going to be like a...
We thought he was a career reliever that was not going to do anything.
Yeah, so props to you, bro. Yeah, I'm not pitching him either. I think it's kind of a game fade. Let's move on to... is this next game still in the early?
Arizona, Milwaukee.
It is.
Last one. Zach Greinke. I love Zach Greinke tomorrow against Milwaukee. So, team strikeout rates. You have Tampa Bay at 27%. Milwaukee at 24%. And then all the other teams are...
San Diego.
Yeah, I believe they're farther down, though. So, these two teams are leading the strikeout rate far and away. Zach Greinke, almost a 30% strikeout rate clip this year. He's lowered his StatCast numbers as well, so I like that. I think you got to look there, man. The games have been playing really, really low scoring the first 2 games, Chase Anderson has had a surprisingly good year. I think you could see another low-scoring game in Miller Park tomorrow.
Perhaps. I think being that Greinke and Strasburg are only separated by like $100, $200 on DraftKings, I think everyone's going to go Strasburg because of the ballpark, Miller Park. So, yeah, I could see Greinke. Obviously, he's been crazy good. Almost pitched a complete game. I don't know why they didn't let him, dude. 12 Ks, he pitched 8 2/3. Who knows? But yeah, he's on a pretty incredible streak here. And kind of was written off, man, after the last 2 seasons. You know, he got paid, went to Arizona, and everyone kind of like looked at him as like, he got his money, and now he's going through the motions. But he's got 240 DraftKings games in his last 3. That doesn't happen. And then 20 plus in each of his last 6. So again, strikeout, good, positive strikeout matchup. Yeah. Both these guys, Strasburg and Greinke, against Padres, positive strikeout matchups. I think it's a toss-up, to be honest with you. And I kind of like Greinke a little bit more, too, after watching his last start.
I agree. I'm on some Greinke tomorrow. I don't know if I want to attack Chase Anderson. I don't think he's my favorite team to stack, or my favorite pitcher to attack tomorrow. And
yeah, it's not cheap to do so.
I think Jake Lamb's going to continue to be a good play at third base. Price has actually dropped a little bit. Paul Goldschmidt, if you believe in the ownership numbers at Miller Park, hasn't really shown in the first 2 games, but career he's done really well here. David Peralta still has that upside, but hasn't done well recently. Brandon Drury hits righties better. If Chris Herman plays catcher punt, so there's guys with upside here, but I don't find myself stacking deep.
Yeah, Tomas has been in and out of the lineup. He's been day-to-day with, I think, a lower body injury, so
yeah, seemingly
not really something I'm trying to run to do for Tomas. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, again, it's interesting spot in Miller Park against, I really don't think Chase Anderson's bad. Or good. So
that's what I'm saying. He hasn't been bad.
I think you can the stack still in play. It's just really expensive, and I don't know that it's the expensive stack I would go for. I think I'd rather go Detroit. Or even the Red Sox, if you're looking at expensive stacks.
Yeah, I'm all on Detroit tomorrow. That's my favorite stack right now. New York and Pittsburgh. Zach Wheeler's going to hit the mound for New York. And
he's going to go out there and hit it. He's going to be like, I'm here, mound.
Well, he's probably going to walk a couple guys because that's what he does best. But Garrett Cole on the flip.
Yeah, that'll happen too.
Garrett Cole's having a good year. Got roughed up in Atlanta. But
so does everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, do we look at some Garrett Cole tomorrow? Or are we looking at New York bats instead? Michael Conforto seemingly has gone cold. I don't know, man. I kind of Garrett Cole's interesting to me tomorrow. He really is.
I don't really think 1.5 games is cold for Conforto. I still think he's an elite one-off, but I don't know. I think Cole will forever be a kind of a sneaky play, especially on the if you play all day. But now you talk about, I think it's 5 games.
5 games. Yep.
So I'm pulling it up right now.
It's New York, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston, Chicago, Los Angeles, St. Louis, Colorado, and Atlanta, San Fran.
Right, I'm just pulling up the pricing.
Oh, gotcha.
So second highest priced pitcher on DraftKings at $9,900. So I think it's a good spot. When you look at the rest of these pitchers too, I definitely think he's in play.
Do you look at Zach Wheeler at all? I don't think I do. Pittsburgh is, besides today, obviously we know about that, but they've been actually hitting pretty well. They're heating up a little bit.
Yeah, I think SB2 options. Kyle Freeland, obviously, but he's in Colorado. Brandon McCarthy's been playing well, but he's playing against the Cubs. So SB2 options are not really easy to come by, So
Adam Frazier is $3,900 on FanDuel.
Yeah, he's expensive on DraftKings too now.
It's ridiculous. Greggy Polanco's back too. He might play tomorrow. I'd imagine he will. So we'll see with that. Baltimore and Houston didn't live up to expectations today with this game. We don't have runs out yet.
I know, dude.
Dallas Keuchel will be back, and Wade Miley. Both these guys have pitched well this year. Both have been pitching are great to ground balls. Both have great StatCast numbers. Wade Miley's not getting barreled up. Dallas Keuchel's not either. Average exit velocity under 84 miles an hour. And Dallas Keuchel, we talked about the K upside with ground ball rate.
He's number one.
Yep.
He's the dude.
It's gonna be hard to fade him tomorrow.
Yeah, I think he's gonna, especially on DraftKings, we need to. I think looking at this pitching slate, this main slate, kind of have to jam him in against a Baltimore team that does strike out a bunch. Obviously, I'd rather play righties against Baltimore, but it is Dallas Keuchel, so yeah, I'm about it. I guarantee we will probably see Trey Mancini tomorrow. We did not see him today. If Wellington Castillo's not in the lineup, obviously, no, this is a night game too, so he'll probably be in there again. I think you kind of have to just by default jam him in with this pitching slate. You know, Wade Miley though.
I don't know if I want to attack him. I mean, he's been getting lucky. I mean, he's been putting a lot of guys on base. He's been walking a ton of guys, but he's been getting out of it. I think I look at Correa. I look at Gaddis.
Maybe Marisnik again. I mean, he'll probably be in the lineup once again.
Yeah,
being that it's a lefty on the mound. They've been kind of platooning him, and he's got a couple home runs in his last 3, or was it 2 in a row now? So
yeah, he's hot. He's still cheap too. $3K on DraftKings, $29 on FanDuel.
Maybe a cheap one off there. I don't know if I want to stack it here, but then again, I haven't really weighted him with this entire 5-game slate. So there's obviously Houston. I guess if you're paying up to 2 pitchers on DraftKings, but I think it's probably a good strategy. Like
on the main.
Yeah, on the main, with even if you want to just go Cole and Keuchel, you could probably fit it in, or even like Fulton Evans in San Francisco. I don't think is a terrible play.
There's some cheap options in Dodgers as well tomorrow if you need to pay down.
True.
So, speaking of that, you got Lackey on the hill. I think he's attackable. He's not had a great year.
Yeah. I'd like to attack John Lackey. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Same. I don't like him.
Yeah.
And then Brandon McCarthy, who's having a really good year. And this StatCast numbers are amazing. When he's not striking guys out, under 85 mile an hour average exit velocity, 21% of the balls hit against him are 95 plus, and only 2.5% of his balls are barreled.
Yeah, that's the largest StatCast projection that I think we've had. I mean, since we started doing it.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I hope he does well. I mean, obviously it's the Cubs, so I'm not putting too much stake into it. I think his depressed price point is intriguing for an SP2 option because of those numbers.
Yeah,
so
maybe
I've been doing a little more research. Yes, again, I was thinking the 2 guys that looked at immediately in the lower range here was Freeland and McCarthy, but Freeland's in Coors. So we'll see. I think it's a toss-up to me. Freeland and Coors against the worst team, or McCarthy, who's perhaps a better pitcher in the better ballpark against the better team. So,
can you stack against McCarthy? I think Zobrist, obviously. Schwarber is interesting. He rested yesterday or tonight, so he'll play it tomorrow, I'd imagine. Rizzo, definitely.
I don't find myself really excited about it, to be honest with you.
I don't either. I don't find myself stacking Cubs.
Like, I think I'd rather play the Astros against Wade Miley. So, I don't know what it is, man. I haven't really been playing much Cubs this season. I've been doing a couple one-offs here and there when it makes sense to. Like, if somehow Brandon McCarthy becomes the chalk SP2 option tomorrow on this slate, I'll probably look at it a little bit harder.
Yeah, that makes sense. But Dodgers, dude, Logan Forsythe, if he leads off tomorrow, 2,800 on FanDuel. Chase Utley's 2,300. He's been hot. Yasiel Puig is 3K. So I think there's some cheap Dodgers bats you can look at.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not so much on DraftKings.
Yeah, that's true. Chase Utley's cheap, 3K. Logan Forsythe is expensive, though. Adrian Gonzalez is 3,200.
Corey Seager is a guy I would look at because of the the whole shortstop thing. But minus the two guys in cores, only Carlos Correa is higher priced than he is. I still think I'd rather play Seager over Correa. Actually, I don't know, man. I think I'd still rather play Correa. They both have the platoon advantage.
Yeah, I'd play Correa.
So, interesting. Chris Taylor. I don't know much about that dude.
He's been swinging a hot bat, so someone you can look at.
I don't know that he'll be in the lineup against a lefty, though. I mean, a righty.
He has been recently, but then again, Forsythe is back.
And you probably will see, what do you see? Usually see Gutierrez, right?
Against lefties, not against righties.
Oh, really?
St. Louis, Colorado, implied total of 11. Adam Wainwright on the hill. He has amazing StatCast numbers. And Kyle Freeland also has amazing StatCast numbers. These guys, neither are great strikeout guys, but when the ball is put in play, which is often, ground ball guys, and it's not getting hit hard.
Yeah, the rookie Freeland, 3 runs or fewer in 8 of his 9 starts this season. Low K per 9, under 6. Does have a high FIP, like 4.5, I think, to his 3.3 ERA. So maybe there's something coming, but, 6 straight DraftKings games of double-digit, performances, and like I said, it's kind of getting you a quality start time after time. So I don't really think this St. Louis offense scares me that much. And what did they do today in cores?
I don't think they scored, actually.
Yeah, got shut out 10-0. Senzatella went 8 innings. So I think you look at Freeland today. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also am looking there. Cheap DK SP2 option. Adam Wainwright is even cheaper at 5,700. I think I would rather play Freeland, though. I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like Jed Jorko's numbers are much better versus... Actually, dude, it's weird that this pricing on DraftKings. Normally, the bats are much higher.
Yeah, they're not on... 3,600.
DraftKings are not.
3,600 for Dexter Fowler and Tommy Pham is expensive, but Tommy Pham...
I don't think Carpenter's price went up at all.
No, I was telling Theo last night. He's been hovering around the 3.9, 3.8 price all year, so 4,300 is not a huge increase for him.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Hopefully
that continues.
I think I can look at a potential Cardinal stack tomorrow. Pham, Gorko, maybe Grichuk. And then on the Rockies side, you can't ignore what Charlie Blackmon's doing right now. And Cargo's only 4K. That's interesting. Tony Walters is 3.2. That's punt worthy in punt for cores. 3,200 is cheap, so I think I can look there as well.
Remember I said those numbers about like the 7-8 batters in Colorado, and how the other day I was talking about the pitchers leading the league in sacrifice bunts or something.
Yeah, and then Blackmon.
Blackmon is leading the NL in RBIs right now.
I did not know he was leading the NL.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's ever happened from a leadoff hitter.
A leadoff hitter leading the league, yeah.
That's nuts, man. Like I'm sure there's been teams where leadoff hitters have led their team in RBI, but leading the league, that's ridiculous. So crazy stat there.
And then we got Atlanta SF, Ty Block, and Mike Fulton-Newitz. Sorry. Fulton-Nevitz, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Block is having a good year, man. He's making an argument to stay in this rotation. I don't know who he would take the place of, but...
Yeah, definitely another guy. I'm surprised to see his name still, and he seems to be like building on each performance a bit, which is a good sign for a young pitcher.
He's actually having a really good year. He got roughed up one start, went out and pitched really well against the Cubs last time, I believe, was his last game. Yeah,
I think it was that last game.
And we look to stack Cubs, and he ended up having a really nice game.
I did stack Cubs.
And I don't think this Atlanta offense scares me. I believe this game is still 0-0 in SF right now.
Yeah, it's 2-0 Braves.
Oh, okay. There you go.
In the 7th, so still a very low-scoring game. I kind of think you can make the case for both pitchers if you look at what Mike Fulton-Neves has done outside of that stadium. His numbers are a lot better.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense, and this is like the complete opposite extreme in a sense too. Going to San Francisco, so great ballpark shift for him. Obviously, I don't know that he's in play on FanDuel, but on DraftKings when you're searching for a cheap SP2, actually, you don't think he's using that cheap. I think he's
8,200 on FanDuel.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think it's like one of the top 4 or 5 price guys. So,
all right, so let me ask you this: you have Kyle Freeland, right?
6K.
6K. Ty Block at 6.2. I think you make the case to just play Block, right? I mean, much less risk, in my opinion.
You make an interesting point, man. I don't know.
Neither guy.
I haven't watched Block, but I've seen a lot of Freeland play and been impressed.
I agree. Freeland has been impressive, but in Coors, right, there's a lot more risk.
Mm-hmm.
Versus I think I would rather face the Braves than the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, I think I would too. So, yeah, you make a good point.
So, interesting. I don't know if I stack either game here either. I think, you know what, by default, I'm kind of looking at a Pittsburgh stack and maybe a couple of Houston. I don't know if I really stack a team in this main slate right now. Nothing's jumping out to me.
Yeah, I think you kind of do on a 5-game slate need to have a 3-man.
Yeah, I can find a 3-man. I kind of like a 3-man in Houston.
But yeah, I think this is a game phase. It's interesting. This is the only late game. The other game starts at
8.
At 9.
9, yeah.
So I guess that is kind of late. So, but
so give me your 3 pitchers on the early that you're playing and 3 that you're attacking as of right now.
Let me do the late first because I have it loaded up.
Okay.
Because it's going to take the way my computer's moving with Skype loaded in. It's a freaking snail. I'll pick two of each on the 5-game slate. I think you got to jam in Keuchel, and then his SP2 is. I'm going to try to get Cole in, but I really think that's going to handcuff you. So I'll see what my lineup does, but obviously he's my second favorite, but I think it's going to handcuff your bats. So I think I'd go down to, I'll go McCarthy. Let's go there.
My 2 right now on the main are Keuchel and Block, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. So then I think obviously some exposure to Freeland. Adam Wainwright's price is only 5,700 in Coors. I don't want to pitch him in Coors, but I just saw that. It's kind of crazy. And then pitchers to attack. I think I'm going to go after Wade Miley and Zach Wheeler.
Same. I would add Adam Wainwright to that as well. I think I can attack Wainwright tomorrow with Colorado bats. So they're hot.
Let me load this other one up.
So
if you want to start,
those would be the 3 I attack. If I'm looking at the early, the 3 I want to pitch right now, Zach Greinke, I love his spot. I really, really like Steven Strasburg, of course. And trying to decide. Man, dude, I legit.
It's kind of tough.
You know what, Mike? I might.
You're gonna say Bronson Arroyo, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna say Brian Johnson on the.
It's tough, man. There's nothing at the bottom here.
With how bad Seattle is versus lefties, I'm going to say that's going to be a GPP play for me, and it'll allow you to get any bat you want.
Yeah, I think seemingly you kind of have to have 2 high-priced guys on DraftKings, man. I like Greinke over Strasburg. I like Greinke over Strasburg and Darvish.
Greinke's my favorite pitcher right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I can't say I like both because you can't pitch both. I mean, I guess on FanDuel, if you're making multiple lineups, it's an easy pivot, so I could see there. If you wanted to make one with each. I like Estrada. I like Estrada at 9,500. I don't know that you can get Greinke and Estrada and be happy with your lineups, but I like Estrada tomorrow again. And then, man, dude. It's ugly. It's really ugly down here, man.
Telling you, watch out for Brian Johnson.
Part of me wants to say Mejia against the Rays. It's a lefty.
Okay.
4,600.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And 3 to attack. I think I look at... You know what? I kind of want to stack Toronto tomorrow, so I might look at attacking you, Darvish. I kind of like I might do a cheap Philadelphia stack. I think they're...
It's the game to do it.
Yeah, they're cold, and we talk about playing the matchup, so I might look there.
If you believe in do.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna stack Yankees tomorrow. Yankees.
I was gonna say Yankees are on my list here. I don't know what the mental fortitude of this Jarrell Cotton guy is, but there is something to be said in narrative street about a guy that got demoted and is getting a second chance. So
yeah, true that.
I do like those kind of narratives, and the Yankees. Hold on. The Yankees, yeah. So I like their spot, but I think there is that narrative that kind of is looming in my head a bit. So could be an interesting pivot or GPP play. And I want to go after Derek Holland with Detroit. We talked about that a lot. And then I think you can game stack this Seattle, Boston, and Cincinnati, Philly game. I know Seattle, we talked about, don't really want to go. Actually, I don't know if you stack Seattle, but I know Fruz is an elite one-off against a lefty. I pitched him today, got me zip, but...
I don't know how I missed Detroit. Derek Holland's the number one guy I want to attack with Detroit's righties. I'm sorry. I completely missed that.
That's the dude.
Yeah.
That's the dude.
So erase Yankees and give me Detroit in my top 3.
Yeah, I don't want to attack Clayton Richard with Washington. I kind of like Boston against. I like Boston against Whalen. I like. I do like Arizona against Milwaukee a bit, and then I like Detroit.
Yeah. So.
Minnesota too. I think you can find some bets in there.
I agree with that. Minnesota against.
Odorizzi.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, as always, make sure to follow the Phenom on Twitter, fantasy__Phenom. We post all the lineups, obviously, as soon as they come out. Keep you up to date on any other news. You see our personal Twitters on the page here. Kyle_Nusser and YanksFan37 for Mike. If you would like to join and get the spreadsheets, all the data on it, all the other projections and stats and percentages, and join the community, hit us up. We'll get you taken care of. Or if you just want to join as a guest and feel out how everything is before, we do have a guest chat room that you guys are more than welcome to join. It is 100% free, no trial, no subscription. You just send me your email and I will invite you in. So.
Also, guys, if you've never watched NASCAR before, but you like betting money on DFS, you gotta watch our NASCAR show. Jay and Ant are the best in the business. I'm telling you, if you watch their show, you're gonna be extremely impressed, and they're gonna want to make you play. Also, we have a free NASCAR contest that goes every week. I'll post it on Twitter. So if you don't want to bet any money, but you want to watch their show and see how building lineups works, throw a lineup in that free contest. So shout out to those guys. Really awesome what they've been doing. Also, follow me on Twitter if you're into MMA. I retweet a bunch of great research links and things like that for the card on Sunday.
Yeah. So make sure to watch Jane Ant's video tomorrow. Yeah, that's going to be great. And they're a lot of fun to watch as well. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful and profitable Saturday. We'll be back to break down the 5-game main tomorrow. Well, you know what? I might hop on and do an early morning show. I'll let you guys know. It'll be river only, of course. But I'll let you guys know if I'm going to do an early show. We'll see. So. Yep,
and I'll try and get in there,
periodically as you can.
As periodically as I can to see it, how things have changed in my thinking, in my lineup building process. Obviously, with a lot of, again, we talked about not too many great cheap pitchers on each slate, so it's going to be interesting finding value and where we want to go for stacks. So lineup building should be fun tomorrow.
All right, well, have a wonderful day.